Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope everyone's having a wonderful start to their day. Wanted to do a quick update on my SGC order, and I wanted to also talk about some recent items I picked up in the mail. So without further ado, let me kind of jump into this. All right, so at the last sports card show I went to, the Chicago Sports Spectacular, SGC was not there, even though I had been in communication with an employee at SGC saying they were going to be in attendance up until the week of the show. So I'm not sure what happened during the week. I don't know if the merger or not the merger, but being bought out by Collectors Universe had something to do with what shows they were targeting to be able to go to for submissions. But I was able to talk to that employee again, and I was able to go over a few options with him. In the long run, I decided to, at least at this time, cancel the order, and they were able to honor it. I do want those cards, the majority of them, to probably go in for grading in the future, but I just thought at this time it was probably the best thing for me personally. So you might see those cards surface again over the next couple months as I probably do some smaller orders. At that time I wasn't really ready to be able to submit things through the mail, and I'm still a little leery of being able to do that myself, even with the insurance. So long story short, don't expect an SGC reveal video at this time, but I do have some things to be able to show you. The first of all came in the mail at the beginning of the week after the show, and this was my very first 1941 play ball card. And it's interesting because his name is Harland Clift, but it's not spelled with a second A, it's actually an O. So this is actually a misspelling on the card, but it's not an error because they never corrected it. So it's just an uncorrected error on the card. So these are like at the end of sort of the Art Deco period. You can see some of the same features with the diamond stars with the coloring, but they're a little bit more muted. As during the war, Art Deco became really out of style. So this was like in the final season before the war began, meaning World War II, during the 41 season. This is a set that I would like to be able to acquire in the future, which the big cards are obviously the Joe DiMaggio card, the Pee Wee Reese rookie, and the Ted Williams card. So I'm really excited to be able to have at least one card obtained for the set. Even if it is a common, but it was at a price that was really affordable, especially in comparison to picking up a card of the same grade from the Diamond Star set. These are much more affordable. So if you ever wanted to kind of think about putting a set together, you're still gonna have to ante up for the big cards, but they're not in the same class of prices as they are with some of the Gaudi cards and the Diamond Stars from the 30s. All right, so if you guys follow some of the same channels I do, you probably saw that Mike Monahan, baseball card collector, was selling some cards this week. He was selling some of his autographs and relics that he didn't want any longer to be able to raise money to be able to purchase an item and also to be able to help do something with his ranch, I believe. I think that's the project that potentially they're going to be working on at the ranch that the family owns. But I contacted him after I looked at the list because he had some things that are of interest to me. So the three White Sox players here before you, I was able to pick up autographs from each and every one of them. So I wanted to share those with you right now. Let's start with Hoyt Wilhelm. Actually, I did not have an autograph of his, and this is his 2002 Topps Archives autograph. So it was based off the 1964 Topps card. Got a different color back, although it's still orange. It's more of an orange red as opposed to the other orange, which is much lighter. It almost looks peach. So this one is autographed by him, so I'm pretty happy to be able to kind of pick that one up. And Mike really did have good prices, so I will say that he was very fair for those that are in the community and are interested to be able to get cards from his collection into theirs. The next one I'm going to show you is a cut signature. This is from SP Authentic. I believe it's the 2011 edition, so it's a cut signature. I believe this might have been from a Hall of Fame plaque. This would not be one I probably would submit in for grading just because he had a hard time being able to write in ballpoint pen on this card. It looks like he had to do the L a couple times because maybe his pen was running out of ink. But it was really cool to be able to pick up a Ted Lyons card because he's a player that there are autographs out there of him, but there's not like a ton of autographs from him. So be able to pick one up at a reasonable price was pretty good for me, so I'm happy to be able to kind of add that to my collection. And then the final one was another Luke Appling. I already have an autograph of his, which is a cut signature, but this is an on-card auto from 1960 Fleer. And it looks awesome. I'm glad that it was actually in a ballpoint pen as opposed to, a Sharpie as opposed to a ballpoint pen, because it just really kind of pops out on the card and didn't damage the card. And I think it'll just present better over time. So those were the 3 autographs I was able to acquire from that transaction. And I wanted to thank Mike again publicly through YouTube for offering that up to us collectors, and I was able to pick these up, and I'm very happy to have these into my White Sox autograph collection. So that is what I have for you guys today, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll be back soon.